Oh man, gotta love that classic Capcom.
In the future, Mega Man X is still relevant.
So check this out. He's got 8,000 terabytes of real memory and 32,000 terabytes of available memory.
Well, at least it isn't like 4 gigabytes of memory.
Log in, Dr. Kane. Reading MXS, reading BDE, and warning.
Warning, warning.
So we got some Mega Man X specifications here.
You can't tell right now, but there's a special fluid leaking from Hal again.
His X-Buster is a Mega Buster Mark 17.
Wait, there were 16 other Mega Busters. I have questions.
Reactive armor skeleton, which reduces damage by 93%.
Man, Dr. Light really went all in on this.
So, this is worth checking out, because it's a warning from Dr. Light. And this lays out the premise of what Reploids are very clearly.
Yeah.
They are thinking robots. And the first law of robotics, a robot must never harm a human being, can be freely broken by them.
Mm-hmm.
And this is how we get to the future. So, the original Mega Man was 20XX, and Mega Man X takes place in 21XX. And so there's a 100-year time gap, even though supposedly only 30 years were required to safety test X's systems, but he just remained sealed away because no one disturbed him until 100 years later.
Well, you know, a lot of fans have theories on what happened and why. And, you know, like, we just have to accept this is just what happened, you know?
September 18th, 20XX. Thomas
Man,
Light.
20XX is actually tomorrow! Oh my god!
We are in the 20XXs.
Yes.
Robot Masters will be knocking on our door by the morning.
Yeah. Wait, don't you mean Mavericks?
No, Mavericks are 100 years later.
Oh, fair.
We won't live to see that because the Robot Masters will have killed us.
Aw, damn it. Oh, well, I like the Mavericks.
We're going to dive straight in to Mega Man X.
So, you know the traditional setup here.
Ready.
So, this is like one of the most important first levels ever. You see, it teaches you so much about like how to play this game, and it makes you prepared for later levels.
So this really threw me for a loop because I had played a bunch of other Mega Mans, and I'm like, oh, where's the boss select? I wonder who's the boss of the first level. I had no idea what was going on, but I went with it.
Well, one of the things that's important with this game is that, you know, it's...
Get some delightful slowdown, true to the SNES.
Of course. Well, the important thing with this game, too, is that this was, you know, like, the first time you're exposed to Mega Man X. Because Mega Man X is so much faster than Mega Man.
Well, Mega Man X is a distinctive character from the original Mega Man, even.
Yeah.
Whereas the original Mega Man is often depicted as being kind of like a kid or preteen in his mentality. X is supposed to be, I've heard, like with the mentality of like a 16 or 17-year-old.
Well, the best way I can describe it, if Mega Man's Astro Boy, X is Gundam.
There's a thought.
Well, like, you know, you have a red rival. Once you have a red rival, you got on full Gundam.
He's not exactly a rival.
Look, he's faster, better, and he has blonde hair and with a mysterious past. I mean, come on, he couldn't be any more of a rival if you tried.
That's true.
Like, look, I know you're about to fight not Boba Fett, but come on, he is, like... If there's one character...
spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert for this old game, yes.
Hey Internet, what's the statute of limitations on spoilers? I like to think about 5 years.
My view on spoilers is probably about 3 months at best. Well, okay. Unless it's like a very recent thing we're showing on the channel. Like, I give 3 months to my friends, and I give the rest of the internet, like...
If you haven't seen this or played it, well, shit.
Look, how many people have seen
It's my car. I destroyed my car.
Gas, gas, gas. You could have been Initial D. You could have been Initial D with that car.
No way, man.
But as you can see that, like, Hal has played this game to death.
I've played this game a lot, yeah. Okay, so this game is dramatically more responsive than the original Star Fox. So you get to see Hal up his game.
His horrible game.
So this took me by surprise, because I was like, which Maverick is going to be the first one? Because I remember I got my mom to bring me the instruction manual when we first rented the game. And the guy at the rental store we were trying to rep Mega Man 6, and he was like, well, that's gone, but I have Mega Man 10. I'm like, I don't know, must be Japanese. You worthless piece of scrap metal! Did you think you could defeat me?
You got Mega Man 10, but where's Mega Man 9?
I figured that Japan must be way ahead of us.
It's like a Final Fantasy 3 and 2 situation where it was 6 and 4. Like you got the
Zero comes in and rescues us.
Zero, you're so sexy and your hair is so long. So
this is the only time X actually speaks up in this game.
Yes. I guess I didn't do so well. Help me in your big arms, Zero.
So this is great. This is really great because he mentions that to remember, you have not reached full power yet. This basically lays out the game for you that you can get stronger.
Look, if you think Hal is doing an impression of Egoraptor, you're right, he is. But look, this is a really great sequence, in all seriousness. Like, it's one of the best sequences. My first exposure to this version of the game was actually in Mega Man Extreme, where they recreate this level, and still holds up really well.
Well, what's important to note here is that the PSP version actually completely changes this bit, which is one of the reasons why I think that the PSP remake's not as good. Is that this whole idea that X is weak now, but he's going to be stronger, is really prevalent in this version of the game, and they really lose it. So, we're on the boss select screen.
Yep.
And right now it's set to show the stage preview, so you can see like Launch Octopus has underwater stuff, Chill Penguin has Arctic frozen stuff. It's interesting because you can change it to a map view, and they give you a little glowing dot indicating the location of this mission. And it wasn't named till the OVA version, where that is Able City right there.
Able City. Okay.
It's called Able City, and it is because Dr. Kane unearthed Mega Man X and started building replica androids known as Reploids. And then they rebel under the rule of Sigma and destroy Able City. So Dr. Kane's creations killed Able.
Oh, of course.
We also can get some specs here.
So the Japanese are clearly going into their love of referencing Bible stuff without actually understanding it.
Spark Mandrill is 10 feet tall. He is pretty big.
Wow, that actually pretty huge.
Sting Chameleon is 5.8 feet.
It's pretty small. You know?
These guys are fairly large machines.
Boomer Kawaka.
I think X is not very tall, though. I think he's like 5'5" or something.
I love the designs on all these Mavericks here. Like, for a new version of Mega Man, these are really high-quality bosses.
Oh, these are absolute classics. And I feel like it's hard for a lot of the sequels to live up to just how good this lineup is.
Yeah. Chill Penguin.
So this guy is the guy you really want to do first, because there's a power-up in the stage that lets you dash.
Well, I think that's often why on like the first time you play through it, he's selected first. You know, it's kind of like hinting that you probably want to be recommending him first.
Well, no, you start on Launch Octopus.
Oh.
Yeah. I actually tried him first when I first played the game. That is not a good first level to do.
Fair enough. Chill Penguin, though, like, usually, I'd start with him just because it's just, actually, I think, when I played Mega Man Extreme for the first time, I started with him as well. Just because it's like, he's a penguin! He is penguin.
Less intimidating than an octopus.
Well, he's a penguin. What can I do? I mean, my exposure to penguins were basically Batman. And Penguin's like the least intimidating Batman villain.
So, a B-tier villain.
Well, penguins are just like beauty. Believe it or not, for a while, Penguin was considered like his actual arch enemy by the creators. I'm not even kidding. I know. It was a different time. But besides that...
Okay, so let's have some respect for our legendary scientist, Dr. Thomas Light. He gave him the ability to choose his own path in life. Because Mega Man X is a strong, independent robot who don't need no man.
He's strong, independent, and my first exposure to Mega Man was the cartoon.
That was a pretty good one, actually.
It's not the worst, if I'm being honest.
So this is really interesting, because Dr. Light says that he wanted X to be able to live his own life, but just in case, he built super armor for him.
Look. Hey.
Just in case Capcom needed to make a video game.
Look, you never know. This is why you teach your kids you teach your kids responsibility, which is why he was frozen for so long. Dr. Life wanted to make sure he was responsible.
That's true. It's kind of vague in continuity exactly everything, but it's sort of thought that like all the other Reploids that were just rolled out off the assembly line are kind of unstable in a sense. And so it's not that they are like defective machines per se, but it's the same way like humans develop mental instabilities. So now we can dash, and that's mapped to the A button, and we can just fly through this level.
Fly me to the moon.
Okay, we're not going that high.
Okay, fair.
This is a nice little shortcut that completely bypasses that cave down there.
Hey, fair enough. Do it. You can do it.
I can.
But yeah, my first exposure to Mega Man was, of course, the cartoon.
So canonically, X's first appearance is here, and he lives for like more than 100 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. He canonically dies at the end of Mega Man 03.
Huh. Yeah, no, that is true. Like, I remember that bit in 03.
Yeah, it is dark. We need to get there. So we got Chill Penguin!
Chill Penguin!
And I think he takes a little more damage than other bosses do from your X-Buster
Man,
shots.
Batman, you've fallen into my trap! Man!
As usual, Dave does not know what game we're playing.
Look. I understand, but he's a penguin. What else did pop culture am I going to reference? The Joker? M. Bison? I could reference M. Bison with Chill Penguin.
My money's on M. Bison. Psycho Crusher!
Psycho Crusher! Ice Crusher!
He's trying to imitate the Psycho Crusher when he's sliding. He went down very, very easy.
And that was faster than the time I saw you do it for first.
Oh yeah, I don't know how many times I've played this game, but it's a lot.
He is ready. He is raring.
I am ready and raring to go. You get Shotgun Ice. This is such a classic weapon get screen.
Yeah.
I would say it's better than some of the sequels weapon get screens.
I like the color scheme they gave him with that too, just how it shifts the color.
The Met Tools are so cute.
They still got Met Tools.
I want like a little pet Met Tool.
God, a little plush Met Tool would so be cool. Or, no, hard plastic Met Tool. We gotta be accurate.
So, we're gonna be following Hal's strategy here. So I do Chill Penguin first, and then I go to Sting Chameleon, because my strategy is to try to collect the armor as quickly as possible.
Yep, and this is probably the best way if you want to go for a full armor run.
I'm going for a 100% run, so...
Yep.
Not a speed run, but we can probably do this fairly fast.
Yeah, he's raring and ready to go for the MagFest Mega Man Marathon and judge everybody who plays.
Okay,
notice
that guy literally laughed at me when I got hit.
That's because you're pathetic. He wants you to know.
They have some very nice sprite animations. We were just noting that about the Ninja Turtles game, how they had details.
Now, the sprites in this one are just so good.
Oh, yeah.
How could you hate it in any way? That is a pretty cool boss animation. Hey, it's not.
It's a mechanoloid.
Mechanoloid.
So yeah, in the lore, mechanoloids are lesser robots that just have like basic AI functions and are not sentient like the Reploids are.
Okay.
So it's just mechanoloid. He's like a construction bot or something.
The Mega Man game I got really into were about network games, but I'm gonna focus on what I know of X. So I thought X and Zero were like the coolest video game protagonists when I was a kid, just because they just looked
They still are.
Oh, dude, they just look so good together. Like, it's just like you have X, who's just like this great updated Mega Man look. He's just blue and he's just fun. And then you have Zero, who's just like this cool anime sword master Char dude.
So he doesn't have a sword in this game.
Oh yeah, he just has the Buster.
This is pre-sword. X2 is where he first gets his beam sword.
Well, because
Zero was just supposed to be like a one-off character.
Well, there is that
fans
whole thing.
Loved him.
Well, there is that whole thing where he was supposed to be the actual design of X, but he was too radically different.
Yeah, this is true. Keiji Inafune went ahead and drew Zero first, and then they were like, he doesn't look like Mega Man, and so they through the character we know as Mega Man X.
Yeah, and that whole like little controversy there.
This guy should be going down soon.
Yeah, like
he
he's
goes.
steaming.
He is smoking.
Smoking.
I always like to stand on the capsule when it comes up.
You just want to be super dork.
Now, this capsule contains a new type of body armor. It will reduce damage to your systems by 50%.
Yeah, I can see why you want to go for this one after that.
This one really helps a lot because you take a lot less damage. Especially later in the game, there's certain bosses that can do tremendous amounts of damage to you, even with the armor equipped.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, even with a 50% reduction to the damage. Also, okay, there was kind of a rock slide occurring inside this cave from the ceiling, and because we defeated that boss, he can't trigger the rock slide.
Oh, so
now we just have to worry about these cragmen.
I kind of like that because there's like a weird cause and effect. That's actually really smart.
Oh yeah, we'll get into that a little more later too.
Like, there's just so much good like design work in this game. No wonder it's so highly regarded. Well, okay, I played a bit through this, but yeah, it is just great.
And it's kind of sad, actually, because I feel like none of the sequels are as polished and complete as this game.
Well, Mega Man's one of those series is that when they got a hit, they just start cranking out new games, hopefully, like, relying on the same stuff until they have to upgrade.
That's very true.
Like, no offense, like, I like the series, and that's not meant to be, like, a slight against it.
Now, Capcom has definitely had periods in its life where they've had, like, one Mega Man game every year. And I was really impressed that they did that with the Mega Man Zero series, and the quality actually improved with every game.
Yeah, no, like...
Indie Creates knew what they were doing.
Nah, in general, it's one of those things, that's just what happens with some games. You know...
The X series is much more mixed, because I feel like the sequels, like X2 and 3, are not super interesting, and don't really do much to add to this series. And then X4 is when everything starts to change.
Well, X4 was like when they got to the PlayStation and actually started to do all that story stuff, especially like with the trailer.
Got much darker and edgier.
Well, you know, they went full Gundam, and you know what happens when you go full Gundam. Hell, they even had a colony drop later on too.
And Mega Man X5, that's actually one of my favorites in the series.
Man, I'm quite surprised. Not many people usually put that as one of their favorites.
I will have a lot to say about it if we get to that game.
Well, you know, like we have our options.
Yeah. So there's a trick where if you stand directly beneath him, it will cause him to move.
Okay.
He tends to move away from you if you stand directly beneath him, so that he can't get an angle on you.
Nice.
Which is generally my strategy against him.
Okay. So that's how you're just like, I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready.
Yeah. Now normally this guy's weak to Boomer Kawanger's move.
But we don't have that, so...
No, we don't. He's one of the last guys we're going to do.
Okay, so...
Well, Boomer Kawanger's interesting because his name is literally the product of not being able to fit enough stuff in the text box, because the PSP version calls him Boomerang Kawanger.
Kawanger.
And Kawanger being a, like, Japanese stag beetle.
Ah, God. I forget. I'm sure there has to be a Rhino Beetle Reploid somewhere, too.
Yeah, he's in Mega Man X3.
Of course he is.
He's Gravity Beetle.
Of course. Because anytime they do a Kuwaga Beetle, there's always the Rhino Beetle somewhere behind.
Oh, they do that in Mega Man Zero, where they are literally brothers, and they have a tag team fight with you in Mega Man Zero 2.
Yeah, no, like, those beetles show up everywhere. Like, you also got that with Heracross and, not Heracross. It's Heracross and, what's the other dude? Kabuto? No.
Kabutops is an ancient Pokemon.
No, not Kabutops. It's Heracross and the Pinsir. It's Pinsir.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah, Heracross and Pinsir are the Beetle brothers.
We have half the armor, and he's already looks super cool.
Yeah, no. In general, like, Mega Man X just has a really great design. Like...
You get Chameleon Sting.
Oh, God, I make that joke about the Gundam, but then his armor's white, and now I'm just like, oh, I made that joke.
There is definitely some Gundam inspiration in Mega Man.
Yeah.
Alright.
Well, especially... Like I said,
we defeated Sting Chameleon, and we are going to continue our battle with Sigma's Maverick forces next time on Hal and Dave's Trip to Jupiter.
One day, we'll complete it. Today. Tomorrow, maybe.